Thank you, Presiding Officer, and let me add my thanks to Rachel Hamilton for creating the opportunity to talk about the wonderful Scottish product that is whisky. I would say to her that between 1837 and now in her parliamentary constituency, it is almost impossible to imagine there was not an informal production of whisky, as there was right across Scotland. Indeed, my father, as a GP in Fife, used to get the occasional informal bottle from one of his patients in the 1950s and 60s. I have with me at the moment an intern, Chase, who's from the United States, and he tells me there are 3 questions he received prior to departing on his visit to Scotland. Would he be buying a kilt? Would he be trying haggis? And how many whisky tours would he be tagging along for? Thus far, he's no budget for a kilt. He's yet to try haggis, but he's only been on 1 tour. So we have a lot still to do. And that's just a testament to how much is known about whisky, how important it is as a symbol, as an emblem of Scotland and Scottish tourism. Why does it account for such a large proportion of all our food and drinks exports? It's our diversity, I suggest. We've whisky for every possible occasion and palate, with or without food. I have a pal who shared a very tiny portion of whisky out of a bottle that cost £1,000. I'm not going to be buying that myself, and I noticed the care with which he resealed the bottle to make sure there was no escape. There is a little bit of magic in every bottle of whisky. There is a bit of a gender issue around whisky. It's predominantly thought of as being a male drink, I have to say. So therefore, I welcome that yesterday Johnny Walker's have produced a new bottle of whisky called the Jane Walker, which has, instead of the man in the top hat and the etc., it is a young lady on the label of the Jane Walker whisky. Now, I would say that this has not necessarily gone down terribly well. The Washington Post yesterday, Maria Jugkis, has written quite a long and amusing article, and at the end she says, this is meant to be satire. So if this is going to succeed, I think possibly we need to be a little more cautious in the way we proceed with it. We know that there are huge numbers of people visit distilleries. My constituency has 4, and I hope to get Chase up to visit some of them to multiply his 1 visit to a distillery. One of the distilleries that I know about is the Isle of Arran distillery. Had over 100,000 visitors in 2017. The numbers keep going up. And I think most distillers have found it useful to have visitor centres for increasing knowledge of whisky, letting people see the skills and the location, let them see the setting that there is for this wonderful drink that goes across the world. Now, of course, I often make personal references in my speech, so I can't let pass my father's cousin, James Stevenson, later Lord Stevenson, who was the managing director of Johnny Walker, when the current symbol that is on the bottles of Johnny Walker was introduced. And indeed, he was responsible for the 1915 Immature Spirits Act, as part of Lloyd George's government, which meant that whisky is kept in bond for 3 years, which improved the quality and improved the marketability of whisky. He was also responsible for the fact that the English got a football stadium, Wembley. He was responsible for it. Presiding Officer.